If you're a fan of The Godfather, you already know that the story of the Corleone family is full of betrayals, dangerous alliances, and violent wars. But there's one family that played a crucial role in this epic saga, the Tattaglias. Who were they? Why did they go to war with the Corleones? And how did their actions change everyone's fate? In this video, we're going to dive deep into the Tattaglia family, from their leadership in criminal activities to the bloody war with Sonny Corleone. Stay with us until the end to uncover the dark secrets and motivations of this powerful mafia family. Get ready for a journey behind the scenes of organized crime that you won't want to miss. The Tattaglia family is one of the 5 families that dominate the organized crime underworld in New York. Led by Don Philip Tattaglia, the family was established in the early 20th century and quickly rose to power thanks to ruthless operations and shrewd business strategies. Under his leadership, the Tattaglias expanded their criminal activities, initially focusing on prostitution, but eventually diversifying into narcotics trafficking, a business that would bring great conflict with other families. Especially the Corleones, the Tattaglias were always seen as a pragmatic family, willing to do whatever it took to maintain and expand their power. This relentless approach helped them become one of the most influential and feared mafia families in New York. Despite their position of power, Don Philip Tattaglia faced disdain and a lack of respect from many of the other bosses of the 5 families. The main reason for this contempt was the nature of the Tattaglia's core business. While other mafia families focused on activities like extortion, gambling, and political influence, the Tattaglias relied heavily on prostitution, operating several cabarets and brothels. This line of work was seen as less dignified and less respectable by the other crime bosses. In the 5 families meeting, it becomes clear that Philip Tattaglia is looked down upon for depending mainly on prostitution for profit. Bosses like Vito Corleone considered prostitution a degrading business that attracted too much attention from authorities and the public, preferring to keep their operations in less exposed areas. This negative perception contributed to a lack of trust and respect for the Tattaglias in organized crime circles. Don Philip Tattaglia was often seen as an opportunist, willing to get his hands dirty in businesses others avoided. This image of opportunism and lack of scruples reinforced the idea that the Tattaglias were pragmatic, but also dishonorable. Even so, the Tattaglias managed to maintain their position of power through strategic alliances, especially with the Barzini family, one of the most powerful, and a readiness to use violence when necessary. Their combination of controversial business practices and willingness to engage in brutal conflicts made the Tattaglias a force to be reckoned with, despite the contempt of their peers. One particularly significant moment of their leadership was the alliance with Virgil Sollozzo, an influential drug trafficker, marked a turning point in the history of the 5 families and triggered a bloody war with the Corleones. Sollozzo, known as the Turk due to his connections with the Turkish narcotics trade, wanted to expand his drug empire in New York and needed logistical and financial support from one of the mafia families. Sollozzo found an ally in Philip Tattaglia, who saw in the drug trade an opportunity to further grow the Tattaglia family's business and increase their power and influence. But that still wasn't enough for the Turk, so he approached Vito Corleone with a lucrative proposal to finance and protect his drug operations. However, Vito, sticking to his principles of not getting involved in narcotics, refused the offer. So, to ensure the success of his business plan, Sollozzo knew he had to neutralize Vito, the biggest obstacle to his operation. This led to the orchestrated assassination attempt on Vito, which nearly resulted in the Don's death. The attempt on Vito's life unleashed an open war between the Corleone and Tattaglia families. Sonny, Vito's eldest and most hot-headed son, retaliated immediately, launching a series of violent attacks that plunged New York into chaos. The gang war that followed was marked by betrayals, ambushes, and a level of brutality that spread across the city streets. The war with Sonny Corleone, without Vito's experienced and calm leadership, many expected the Corleone family to lose a large part of their power and influence in New York's underworld. However, they underestimated the determination and ferocity of Sonny Corleone, Vito's eldest son. Sonny showed an impressive ability to command and direct strategic attacks against the Tattaglias and their allies. His aggressive approach managed to halt the rivals' advances and even helped recover some of the power the Corleones had lost after Vito's shooting, but that same ferocity and confidence became a vulnerability. convinced that he had forced his enemies to retreat, Sonny became less cautious. His impulsive nature and growing sense of invincibility led him to let down his guard. This complacency culminated in a fatal ambush organized by Barzini, who was secretly controlling everything from behind the scenes. Sonny was lured into a brutal trap at a toll booth, where he was ambushed and gunned down. His death marked a turning point in the war between the families, showing that despite his power and ferocity, Sonny was still vulnerable to the machinations and betrayals of his enemies. The loss of Sonny was a devastating blow to the Corleones, but also a reminder that in the world of organized crime, caution and strategy are just as important as brute force. With Sonny's death, it seemed that Barzini and the Tattaglias had gained a temporary advantage. However, Vito's recovery and Michael's return from Sicily brought new leadership and a calculated strategy for the Corleone family. Michael, taking command with his father's blessing, initiated a meticulous plan to eliminate the family's enemies and consolidate power. The plan included the execution of all rival family bosses involved in the conspiracy against the Corleones. Among these bosses was Philip Tattaglia. Philip Tattaglia was found in a moment of vulnerability, illustrating the fragility that comes with power in the criminal underworld. He was in a hotel room, enjoying an intimate moment with his mistress, when the assassins sent by Michael Corleone moved in. The scene was brutal and swift. Tattaglia was caught off guard and shot to death, with no chance to defend himself. Philip Tattaglia's death marked the end of his family's influence in New York's underworld. His elimination, along with that of the other rival bosses, was a decisive move that restored order and control for the Corleones. Michael Corleone demonstrated that despite losses and challenges, the Corleone family remained an unstoppable and determined force. This cold and calculated execution of Tattaglia, during a moment of intimacy and vulnerability, symbolized the Corleones' relentless revenge and the restoration of their supremacy. It served as a grim reminder that in organized crime, loyalty and power are always temporary, and betrayal rarely goes unpunished. And so we reach the end of our analysis of the tragic and fascinating downfall of the Tattaglia family in The Godfather. We saw how the Tattaglia's ambition and betrayal triggered a series of events that forever changed the balance of power in New York's criminal underworld. The betrayal, the war, and the brutal elimination of Philip Tattaglia not only marked the end of an era for his family but also highlighted the Corleones' ruthlessness in reclaiming their supremacy. If you enjoyed exploring these intense and intriguing moments, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with other Godfather fans. Your support is essential for us to keep bringing you detailed analysis and high-quality content about the movies and series you love. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, click the subscribe button and activate notifications so you don't miss any of our future analyses and explorations. Your participation helps keep this channel alive and brings you more videos like this one. Don't miss the chance to be part of our community of movie buffs and cinema enthusiasts. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the mysteries and most memorable moments of the cinematic world.